But let's just start, man. Like, you've been in real estate a while now. We met super early in both of our real estate careers, which is pretty cool.
How early, AJ? How early was
It was the beginning, man.
it? It was the first class that they put you in, right? When you
Yeah, dude, that is crazy.
KW. So.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was the first class, but I think you're right.
Ignite. We went through Ignite together, right?
Yeah. I would say it was the good old days, but these days are way better.
Yeah, I totally agree.
We are now living the good old days in the present time. We were both just kind of struggling, trying to figure this thing out back then, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why do you even get into real estate, man? Let's hear a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll dive into some agent attraction practices.
I listen to other people about how, I've always been interested in investing. Like mine was kind of frustration, to be honest with you. I'd always been gainfully employed in the resort recreation business. And when Jenna and I got married, we moved to, Davidson, right outside of Charlotte. We knew we'd only do a few years there. She worked for Davidson College, and I had always been employed. It was 2011. So I move up there. The economy was terrible. And so I'm looking for a resort recreation job. It just didn't exist, not in that market, not at that time, So I worked a couple hotel jobs, and I worked at Gold's Gym at the front desk, and I sold memberships and I made shakes. And but as much as I laugh about that job, I kept that job for 3 years, the entire time I lived up there. So, and they just adjusted my schedule, whatever I needed. So I kind of, I actually just got off the phone with my friend from Michigan, who had inspired me to get into the business. He talked to me about it. We were both in resorts, and then he got licensed. And so I said, heck, why not? So anyway, I worked at a gym. I went to classes. I went to open houses. We had a real estate kind of coach assigned to us that worked for the market center. And I kind of did a few little deals from time to time for other agents, like stuff they didn't want to do, like 80 grand in the zip code in Charlotte they didn't want to drive to. Like that was my first 12 months, right?
Yeah.
There. That's it.
Yeah. So would you say that your first year in the business was smashing success? How would you grade that?
No, it was not a smashing success. It was, I'd go to work. I'd go to the real estate office, and I'd come home, and my wife would say, "You go to work, but you never bring home any money. I don't understand it." So I'd go to the gym after I did that job and go work at the gym. So it was not a smashing success. It was a feeling out, but it's a little bit of who I am. I think it's important to know who you are. I am different than you, AJ. I don't always go directly at the easiest path. Sometimes I gotta feel my way. So
yeah. And I think it's important that people hear that. Most agents, myself included. I mean, I only sold 6 houses my first year. They can relate that to agent attraction because it's your first year with eXp maybe, and you haven't done anything with agent attraction. That doesn't mean that you'll never do anything. It just means that you're feeling it out. You're learning, you're making progress, even though you might not realize it. You're just kind of learning the ropes, which is kind of what you had to do in your real estate career, it sounds like.
Right. Absolutely.
So you're in sunny Florida now.
Wait, do you want to keep just a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want to keep going we went through what was bad about the beginning of my career. Do you remember when I turned the corner?
I think I remember. I remember it from my perspective, I guess.
All right. So my wife got pregnant. We knew we would be leaving Florida within 6 months.
Leaving Charlotte.
Leaving Charlotte. I'm sorry. Yes. Leaving Charlotte and moving to Florida. We just knew it because time was up. So I had no real good business in Charlotte, but I had to, if I wanted to stay in the business, I had to get a business going in Charlotte, and then I'd have to move that business in 6 months. So that was my dilemma. And I had a kid on the way. And so you had some listings that you had gotten, right? And you had some more immediate success than I did. And I went to you and I said, how do I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. I have nothing right now. And you said, show up at the office at 8 a.m. And I did. And we called expires and withdrawals together. And we were consistent and we role played. And I'm sure it had its struggles. But I listed that farmhouse on Smith Farm.
Yeah. Was that your first one?
They called me. And we double-sided that one and we sold the buyer's house. So it was almost $1 million in transactions. And once I saw that you can do that from just making some phone calls, that was the light bulb for me. And then I moved my business to Florida. I capped, my wife quit her job. It all happened in like 10 months. And we've been 100% in since since that time. So anyway,
that's awesome.
I don't know if you remember it like that, but that's how it went.
No, yeah, I remember it. You probably remember the details better than I do, so it's cool to hear it again. How long do you think that we actually prospected in that room together, that little tiny room with like one small window?
How long? Oh,
yeah, was it like a week or something? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a few weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was probably like a month or so, and then yeah. I mean, we would show up, and I mean, you were already doing it.
Yeah.
You had advocated for a space, and then you were already doing it, and I was like, help me.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about that, man, is you had your why, which was your son on the way. Yeah. So you're like, now's the time. If it's gonna be, it's got to be now. So that was like the motivating factor. Then you're like, I need to find somebody who's achieving success in what I want to do and just model what they're doing, which is the same thing that you can do with anything in life. You can just get the reason why you're doing it and then model someone who's successful. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And, since you've been in Florida, I mean, just share kind of where your business is today. I mean, you've just
Yeah. So this will be, we do about 10 million in production. We'll sell around 40 homes a year. So I'm super proud of that. We did just make a hire. We hired an admin assistant. So yeah, that's where we're at. We iconed with eXp, which was a huge goal of ours. When we joined, we had a few goals we wanted to hit, and I think we pretty much hit them all. So we want to icon again. That's very important to us to do that. So yeah.
That's awesome. And Jenna's now full-time in the business with you as well as a full-time mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's Jenna's great. She does a great job. And her best role is going to PTA. She's on the PTA. She goes to MOPS, right? Moms of Preschoolers group. She has coffee with her friends. She goes on play dates, and that's what she does to lead generate. And it works. It's her, I mean, it's probably about a third of our business is her circle of friends and family and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. So you got Icon Agent. So, I mean, if you guys are watching this, you don't know what Icon Agent is, but you got all $16,000 of your cap back in stock, which is awesome.
Yep.
What, have you gotten stock other ways since you've been with the company?
Yeah. Yep. We've gotten just from, I think you get it when you cap, you get it when you do your first sale, and then when agents you bring in. So I think it's around 20 right now, I would say.
$20,000 worth?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So doing what you always did as an agent, where you normally just get a trophy, a certificate, which you still do get at eXp, and I think you might have that on your desk somewhere.
Yeah, it's actually at home. So but it was we weren't expecting it. They send you a trophy, so it's a pretty big trophy.
So you still get big, nice trophies here, and you get stock, which is pretty cool. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the reason why everyone's on the call today, which is agent attraction. So share how many people that you've sponsored so far and what your total organization is.
So I'll have 9 is joining, a good friend of mine. So number 9 is joining right now, and that'll put our organization at 26. So,
Awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been with eXp?
15 months.
15 months. So in 15 months, you were able to sponsor 9, and that organization grew to 26.
Uh-huh.
And do you have any idea of how many transactions that group would have closed last month?
I think they did we did 13.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't start really looking at that until a few months ago, so I'm surprised you know that number. So
I kind of pull it up. I kind of want to know. So
yeah, it's cool because it's like, you sell 3 to 4 homes a month, but now you have this revenue share organization now selling, 10, 15 houses a month, which is pretty cool. And I put in the title of the post earlier that, you've been able to build a passive income that rivals $500,000 invested in a low-cost index fund. Right. So for people that might have been wondering about what that's all about, basically, according to the Trinity study, they looked at all the numbers of the stock market over the last 40 years or whatever it was. You should read the study. It's a lot of numbers. I've read it, but I highly recommend just reading like Trinity study, like Google that and read everything you can find on it. It's pretty cool. And that's kind of my investing strategy. But basically, whatever you have invested in a low-cost index fund, you can withdraw 4% of that amount. That's your safe withdrawal rate. So had you invested $500,000 in that Vanguard fund is the one I use, you'd be able to withdraw $20,000 a year. So what is your current, what would you say you're averaging per month right now for rev share?
Averaging 1,600.
Yeah. So 1,600, I like to use calculator. So I'm going to just see what that would equal over the next 12 months if it doesn't even grow. So that's 19,200.
Yep.
So that's mind blowing to think about, because some people might hear, well, $1,600 isn't a lot of money, or some people would think that's a whole lot of money. I mean, the average agent only makes $40,000 a year. So your residual income that you've developed through agent attraction is already half of what the average agent makes, which is amazing. But what blows my mind to think about is for you to save up enough money to where you have it invested for retirement to earn $20,000 a year, you would have needed to save and invest $500,000.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy. And we're all going to stop working at some point. And if you don't have these types of investments in place, you're going to be in trouble. And it's not that easy to save $500,000. I mean,
right.
Like how long do you think it would take you as a real estate agent to save that much money?
If you're committed to it, if that was like on your goal board,
right?
I mean, I think you could save $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
In cash, but but that's changing your lifestyle. Absolutely. We're going to Canada tomorrow, so I would not be going to Canada if my goal was to save $100,000 a year for 5 years. So
yeah, exactly.
I like my lifestyle.
Yeah. So 5 years and cutting back all unnecessary expenses.
I mean, do you think I'm off there?
No.
That's aggressive? Okay.
At your income level, no. For most agents, they're like wishing they could make $100,000 a year, but at your income level, I mean, you're doing the production where that's very realistic for sure.
I'll say it. Can I say it another way? So yeah. I have one rental property. It's the home we used to live in. It cash flows $400 a month. This past year alone, I took down a tree in the front house. My tenant just found a little mold in the garage. It's not going to be a big deal, but so I have those tenant issues and all that stuff. So cash flows $400 a month. So I got 4 more rental units in 15 months by telling some agents about a brokerage I love.
Yeah.
And I don't have to take down trees or go visit it when, whatever.
Were you able to buy that house with no money down?
No.
Yeah. So how was it, like 20% down?
No,
5. Cool. So, and then think about this. Not only do you not have to show up and cut those trees down, but your revenue share organization, the people that are in it, can go out and get more people to help build your residual income. Your rental property will not go find more rental properties for you.
Right. That is correct.
So, I mean, to create, $500,000 invested or the equivalent of, I mean, how much time for agent attraction have you been spending per week over the last 15 months? I would imagine that it's taken a big part of your day.
No. I think when we first, when we first joined and I went to Vegas for Brent's golf trip, and I was on fire and we were having a lot of conversations. It kind of shook our office when we left, and there were a few of us that left, and they put up their defenses. So at this time last year, I was being super intentional. And then, I mean, what happened? The holidays happened, and then spring selling season got here, and so yeah, I mean, I haven't spent that much time. I mean, my list of 100 is at 87.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be what in the first 60 days, right? So
yeah, exactly. So you're still working on building your list of 100.
Right.
So that's kind of the point, guys. It's like, just carve out a little bit of time every week and look what you can accomplish. That's why I love your story so much, Doug, because, I see where you were when you first got into real estate, and then you saw a model that worked, which was prospecting for sellers. You made that happen. You partnered with eXp after, really just flat out turning me down. And I was like, so this was my strategy with Doug, guys. So that I sponsored Doug, and basically I was like, I told him about it. He's like, not interested. He was at KW in Florida. I had just moved over. He's like, not interested, not one bit. I was like, all right, man, no problem. I'm sending you the video over Facebook chat. And if you're interested, or if you feel like it, watch the video. And then you called me when I was driving through Michigan on my way to Whole Foods. We had just landed. And what did you say to me? What was the first thing that you said to me? Do you remember? You were like, it was something like, dude, I can't even believe I'm about to say this.
Yeah.
And like, you had a bunch of questions for me, but like you knew in your mind already that you were going to make the switch.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't, you're like, or it might've been something like, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Like, I hate you. Cause like, you're just like, how is this even possible? Like, how am I going to make the switch right now?
Well, I was kind of like, so I watched you move. I mean, it was 14 months between when you jumped and then, so, but you did intentionally reach out to me that summer before when I actually moved. And I remember you sent me the video link, and I would click on it, and I wanted to know, like, how you can track what homes buyers are looking at?
Yeah.
Right. Backside, they might not know it. I was wondering if you knew how much I was watching the video, because then I was like watching it like every other day and like running some numbers, and like I think I showed it to a friend or two, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. And but I didn't want you to know, because I wanted to keep it so private. I wanted to keep my defenses up. So
yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point. I was just thinking of BombBomb, which is a video service. You could probably embed that video into BombBomb, and that does track how much people are watching it. And that would be a great thing to do, because just like with buyers, when you see them looking at a bunch of houses, you're like, oh, they're probably hot, I need to call them. Same thing with agent attraction.
Yeah. If you're using videos at a high level and you're going to continue, and that's your piece, and I know that's what the training is and all that stuff, but that's not a bad idea. So
yeah, that's a pro tip right there. That's a nugget I'm pulling out of this video.
there you go.
So if you guys have questions, put them in the comments too. But let's get into like tactical stuff. So like, you sponsored 9 people. There's people that are going to be watching this now or watching the replay that are like, wow, I wish I could sponsor 9 people. They have 0 right now. What is some advice that you would give to an agent looking to get started with agent attraction?
I would say it's just like prospecting for sellers. You think everybody's a no. I think talking to agents is so much easier. You're calling them and you're just having a conversation, and you're just asking a very simple question. What I've been doing is saying, the last 15 months at eXp has been a blessing for my wife and myself. Are you open to a conversation about the model, about the brokerage? And it's just that simple. And it's yes, no, maybe. That's it. I don't have any control over what their reaction is. But I do want to warm them up a little bit. I want to talk about something. So finding reasons to call agents is kind of part of it. you showed my listing. Tell me what you think. Do you have any advice for me? Or if I have a commonality, hey, you have a fantastic business you sell with your wife. We do about the same in production. And I just wanted to ask you a question. This is because of our production level. This has been a really great thing for us. Have you heard about it? And you'd be surprised how many people are just, yes, I've heard about it. Yes, I'd like to know more. So yeah, that's what I'd say. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have to make the call, and you're gonna have to convince yourself first. So
Yep. I love that. So basically what I'm hearing you say is it's opening the conversation. Like it's not rocket science. You don't need to be, so strategic with how you're doing it. It's just finding a way to open that initial conversation.
right, and maybe that's my own mental hurdle that I need to get over. But I just feel like if I'm making that call, and I was making calls just an hour ago, like I just want an opening, because everybody's going to be gracious. It's an agent to agent phone call. We're calling about real estate. I'm interested in you. I want to have some small talk, and then I want to ask you the question that I called you to ask you. And I've established some rapport. I've established some connection. I'm confident in me and my business, and then I'm going to ask the question, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. It's really just opening the conversation, getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be the worst inviter, meaning inviting people to see the video or come to a lunch and learn. You could be the worst one ever in the history of eXp. And if you made enough calls or sent enough texts to people that or however you're doing this, you would get a certain result. And once you know that what that result is, maybe it's 1 out of every 10, maybe it's 1 out of every 20, then you only need to contact 20 people to get one agent to sign up. You know your numbers, and you can proceed with confidence, and it becomes very duplicatable.
Right.
That's kind of what we did with the seller prospecting side of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So
and I really need to work on my what I think a year ago as well. I was ready to take anybody and everybody, and I think I'm being more strategic now. I want to have the right partners. We have a great local group with a great culture. I'm really proud of what we have. And going forward, I want to partner with the right agents, because, I mean, when you go from, we're going to be at 10 to 20, you want those next 10 to be the right people. Because right now, I don't have a big third line to open up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I had I made an agent call last week. I talked to this agent. She was interested in sitting down. She said, hey, you just sponsored Phil Hornbeck, right? Phil and Sarah Hornbeck. And they just joined me. She didn't use the word sponsor. She said, they just came to eXp, right? I said, yeah. Do you know Phil? I didn't know they knew each other. Yeah, I know Phil from the Keller Williams office. So what did I do? I invited Phil to sit down with me and the agent. We had coffee yesterday, and she's joining under Phil. And Phil, he needs that. And that's so awesome. That's what I'm excited about that part too. So
that's cool. I love that. So when you say that you're looking to partner with the right people, like what kind of criteria would that be? So if someone's looking to, build their top 100 list, like who should they be targeting?
I think it's easy for me to talk to people in similar production, 8 to 12 million. Like I like to talk to those people because the reason for joining eXp is really evident at those numbers. I can tell you personally about Icon. You do enough transactions where you're going to be talking to agents all the time, or you have influence already, and it's going to be pretty natural for you. People are going to ask you, even if you say, oh, I don't want to cold call agents or something, people are going to ask you why you switched. I mean, it happened to us, so those are the agents. And, nothing, I love helping new agents and all of that good stuff. And there's only there's only so much of my time that I can take away from my business to help people. So being strategic, I'll talk to new agents all day long. The right ones are going to be the right ones for our organization, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. You need to have a target market. Like who are you going to spend your time working with? And if you don't have that clearly defined, what I could see happening is default mode might be targeting, brand new agents, low producing agents. And, not that those agents are bad or won't succeed in the future. It's just a lot more work for you as the sponsor to help support those agents, because you do kind of owe it a little bit to them to help them get their business off the ground, help them, learn real estate. And the more time you're investing there is less time that you can invest going after new recruits, and also helping your existing recruits who want to grow, like Phil. You won't be able to spend as much time with people like that, because now you're helping a newer agent, hey, this is how you go on a listing presentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. So we're here on the 30-minute mark. What's some parting words of advice that you might have, or some encouragement to offer?
I mean, for me, no matter what you talk about, I need accountability. So I mean, what did we talk about at the beginning? Know who you are. I need accountability in order to do what I need to do. I always have, and I seek that out now. And so having good partners, I mean, going to events, meeting people, having connections within this group, and then showing up. So Thursdays for me now are pretty much all about rev share. I'll tell you that much. So, and that's good. I need that. Friday afternoons, I've heard other people talk about Friday afternoons. Mentally on Friday afternoons, I mean, I'm kind of halfway checked out, if I'm being real honest.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to make agent attraction calls at that time, but Thursdays, because of some of the things that I'm involved with, and that, so know who you are, find people to partner with, and do it, and just do it, just start it. So.
Yeah. And that's great advice, being self-aware to where you can actually know how you operate the best. And I would say 99% of people, they need that accountability, whether or not they want to admit it. I need it. You need it. Pretty much every high performer needs it.
Yeah.
And that's crucial. So if you guys are wondering how you can get more accountability in your life, you can definitely hire a business coach, or you could even look at getting somebody in the builders group. Form a small mastermind group inside of the builders group. You can just private message some people in the builders group. Hey, I'm looking for accountability partners, looking for mastermind partners. Do you guys want to meet every Thursday and just hold each other accountable? That would be absolutely amazing. I mean, that's how my real estate career started taking off. I hired a coach and got a free mastermind group going.
Yep. If you're having some struggles, I guarantee other people are. And sometimes when you're able to solve somebody else, it's easier to solve other people's problems sometimes, and you coach them and you're like, why don't they just do it? And then you listen to yourself, you're like, well, why don't I just do it? Look at all that's available to us. It's crazy. So.
Yeah. The advice that you're giving to them is advice you're kind of giving to yourself at the same time.
Yeah. I'm laughing because that's what I do. Right.
Yeah.
Easy to coach others, isn't it? I mean, come on.
That's probably mostly what the coaching industry is. Any of those motivational speakers you see, it's they're teaching them, they're speaking to themselves just in front of an audience.
Right. Yeah. And
I love too, you got your Thursdays dialed in now, where it's like every Thursday, no matter what, I'm doing agent attraction calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
crucial.
right.
You pick a day and stick to it.
Yeah. That's something I needed. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll have to do this again in the future and see where you are then. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. I love watching you grow. And I'm thankful that you were able to share your story with the group today.
100 agents by August 2020.
All right, man. 100. How many personally sponsored?
Oh, I didn't. I'm good. What do I need? What do I need? You know, is it 20?
To go from where you're at now, I would say, man, I mean, you already have 9. So
25.
August, I mean, I'd say 25 total, man.
All right, there we go. We're goal setting.
Yeah. I think if you target the right people, by August, you should have 100 people.
25 and 100. There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
And for those of you that don't know, there's a good possibility that would be much more than what the average agent makes per year when you accomplish that goal. So
Yeah.
good job, man. Love it. See you,
All right.
buddy.
Thank you, AJ. Bye-bye.
See ya.